it is time to do something with these pumpkins. First, I'm going to take off any areas that are bad with a potato peeler. It's not really just bad, it's just kind of scarred. And then I'm going to remove the seeds. Some of the seeds I'm going to toast with olive oil and seasoning salt, and other seeds, like in the biggest pumpkin, I'm going to save, and I'm going to use them to grow pumpkins next year. Our pumpkins are grown without pesticides, so I can go ahead and process the pumpkin, skin it all, as long as it doesn't have any bad spots on it. If you can't grow a pumpkin in your garden, the best time to buy them at the store is after Halloween. Sometimes you can get them after a pumpkin patch venue. Sometimes they'll have them available discounted. So we're going to go ahead and process this for 45 minutes in our electric pressure canner in about 2 inches of water. You can also do it in an oven, but this is my favorite way of doing it. I couldn't fit all of my pumpkins in the pressure canner, so I'm going to process this one separately. Now, this one has more of an orange hue to it. It looks yellow in the video, but this one actually does have an orange hue to it. When I bought these pumpkin seeds, I wasn't thinking about the color of the pumpkin, and the packet actually shows a white pumpkin, which nobody really needs for pumpkin pie, right? So I'm only going to save seeds from this larger pumpkin that's more orange colored, so hopefully we breed that white out. But my mother taught me that seeds that you save are acclimated to the climate you live in. So these are definitely going to be viable seeds because they're already making sprouts inside the pumpkin. I think I'll try eating these, see what they taste like. And you can see that the flesh of this pumpkin is much thicker than the other pumpkins I harvested. So when you save seeds, definitely save seeds from the best fruit. As many of these seeds that have sprouted, it's actually very hard to find viable seed. If you're saving seed, make sure they're not open like this one, and make sure they're not squishy like this one. They should actually be very firm to the touch. Make sure that there's still a pumpkin in that seed. So the sprouts are actually better, so they might be good for you, but they really don't taste that good. I'm gonna put a little olive oil on my parchment paper. And then I'm going to add my seeds. And then I'm going to spray a little bit of olive oil on the seeds. Then I'm going to use my rib rub for seasoning. You could use seasoning salt, but I find this rib rub, rack and rib rub, if you want to check out my video on how to make that, is pretty excellent on a lot of things. And then I'm just going to bake these at 250 until they're toasted, stirring occasionally. Once your pressure canner is done, go ahead and vent the steam. Once the steam is vented, go ahead and take your lid off. Be careful not to burn yourself with the steam that's left. And then I am going to use metal tongs, and I'm going to go ahead and load this pumpkin into a glass blender. If you don't have a glass blender, you're going to have to wait until it cools off. And we'll just do a little bit of it at a time. And we'll add just a little bit of water, just a little. Don't need too much. Basically, add as much as you need. Put our lid on, and we'll go ahead and put this on the grind setting. And then as we puree our pumpkin, we're going to put it in little glass dishes. And I recommend measuring the pumpkin and labeling it with how much pumpkin you put in there, so that when you're cooking with the pumpkin, such as making pumpkin pie or pumpkin bread, you know how much pumpkin you've saved in your container. And then once it cools in these containers, just go ahead and freeze it. I use my pumpkin within a year, and it's definitely storable in the freezer for at least a year. Well, we have today's pumpkin that we pureed, processed, and in containers cooling, and we have labels so that we know how much pumpkin is in the container and the date we did it on. Now, this particular pumpkin we processed is kind of yellow colored, but by the time you add your cinnamon and your nutmeg in there, it's going to be substantially more brown colored, and we'll see what happens with the next pumpkin we process.